Now, when it comes to our main electrical panel, this can be pretty intimidating to most homeowners, and rightfully so. There's a lot that can go wrong, and you want to make sure you have the skills, comfort level, and code knowledge in your area before you jump into doing any sort of work inside of here. Today, we're going to show you how to move circuit breakers. We have two 120 volt breakers that I'm going to move lower in the panel to make way for a 50 amp 240 volt breaker that will serve as an inlet to a generator, so I can power my home in a power outage scenario. So we'll go over the basics that you need to understand before you move any circuit breakers, swap out any bad circuit breakers, or add a new circuit. All of this knowledge is pretty much the same when it comes to breakers. How do they work and how do you service those in your home? So let's jump into it. Now, first up, when you remove the cover, take your time, and here I'm going to remove 4 of the screws and just loosen the top 2 so I can put the tool away and the other screws away. Have both hands to safely rock that away from the surface, ensuring it doesn't fall back into the panel. So now with the main panel open, and maybe even before you take that cover off, you want to turn your main disconnect in the off position. Now, before I do that, I'm going to test my non-contact voltage tester just to confirm it's working properly. With these breakers on, I would expect my black hot wires would read out hot, as they are. In addition, even when I turn this off, and now confirm that I'm no longer getting power at the hots coming from the circuit breaker, because now we have turned off power to the 2 bus bars, we still have power at our main hot conductors coming in on the top side here of our panel. So just know these lugs under the covers, or maybe yours are exposed, those are hot and you can get yourself in trouble. So turn everything off. That's going to turn off your bus bars and everything inside your panel. Always double check with your non-contact voltage tester. So here are the 2 breakers that we're going to be moving. And just know, if you're not seeing the white neutral come into each one of your breakers, maybe you're just seeing your neutrals come into the screw terminal bus bars here, that just means you probably have a standard breaker. These specifically, these blue ones here, are dual purpose AFCI and GFCI, and then these green ones are AFCI. Without that neutral, you probably just have a standard breaker more like this one, which just is not going to have the ground fault protection. Now, to remove breakers, it's very easy. You'll just rock them off of the bus bar, and then you can remove those from the small clips here on the side that hold them in place. Now, before we jump into really the most common hangup that homeowners would have at this phase of moving some breakers, let me show you a few other common brands that might help you out, as many of us won't have these Eaton BR version of circuit breakers. So if you're questioning what type of breaker you have, you might want to just take one down with you to the home improvement store. Here's the most common brands and types you're going to see. Square D has 2 different types. Here we first have our QO. This is the most common one I've used over the years. So that is a Square D QO 20 amp standard breaker. And then this would be a Square D Homeline type of breaker, also very popular for a 20 amp standard. Then you have the Eaton versions. This is the one we're dealing with today. So I have the BR version for Eaton, and you can see that is the design for that one. And then Eaton's CH type Cutler Hammer, which was a brand that they acquired over the years. So these are going to cover a lot of the different panels you see, but you might also run into a GE like this one, or a Siemens like this last example. So I'll go ahead and use my 16-in-1 Klein Tools multi-bit. This is my go-to screwdriver. It's compact and it usually works for everything I need, and has a nut driver on the end, which is really handy for HVAC work. But in this case, I can't get the number 2 square drive, which is the correct bit in this instance, to fit. So I got to go to my number 2, and that is the 15-in-1 Klein Tools that has a built-in ratchet. Now, this is not sponsored. These are actually my favorite screwdrivers that I use on almost every project around the house. If you want to see that complete list, including these 2 screwdrivers of the electrical tools I recommend, you can check the links in the description, or this QR code, you can scan it if you're watching on your TV. So let's go ahead and put this 120 breaker down here on the bottom, which is our new location, and get that set in so we can start to get our wire lengths. How we are going to extend these out, this is kind of the trip up that people get wrong.
But it doesn't have to be complex. You can just use some scrap Romex and take out the white neutral and black hot to extend our original wires. I'll just strip these off here, and these are 14 gauge matching our 15 amp circuit. If you have a 20 amp, it's most likely 12 gauge. We're going to use Wago 221 lever nuts. By far the best, not the 2-wire, 3-wire, 5-wire, but this inline splice. It is perfect for this application. Why? Because it's compact and then it lets that wire kind of pass through the splice. And since our service panel is a large junction box, you should be okay in your area, check your local code, to have splices within your box without any issue, so we can just extend those out to the new location and get our routing down, seeing what we need for our final length. Once you have that, you can just go ahead and take your wire cutters here. These are Knipex hybrids, and just cut that to length, stripping those off so we can land both the hot and the neutral. Remember, we need both of those since this is a dual purpose AFCI and GFCI breaker. You'll land those within here, and then we'll use that 15-1 again with a number 2 square drive, making quick work of tightening down each of our 2 screw terminals to finish off this breaker relocation. Then I just repeated the process for the second one there with both of them in place. Now you can see why I like the inline splices so much, especially compared to the old way, which was using wire nuts. And since we made modifications, you'll want to take your cover. You might need to adjust and open up some slots so you don't have any interference, and also adjust your labels to what your as-is work is now, not what it used to be. Now I'm going to place this 240 volt 50 amp GFCI breaker, and this one actually has a neutral pigtail that I need to secure into the neutral bus bar. Now that bus bar internally is leveraged by these 120 breakers, and that's why they don't need the white pigtail for AFCI and GFCI protection. Now I just turned the main breaker on and I want to test our work. I'll turn the 2 breakers that we moved on and confirm that we do have power at the hot black wires now. Once that's confirmed, now you're ready to put on your modified cover, making sure everything's lining up, taking your time, and it is best practice to turn the main disconnect back off, so if the cover falls in, you just have less things that are live within the actual panel itself. Tighten everything up, and now we're done with our modifications. Now let me know down in the comments if you guys have any questions on your own projects around the house. I got quite a bit more work running my 6.3 Romex from this 50 amp breaker over to this generator inlet that will be inside my garage. This is where you'd plug in your generator, or in my case, I have large portable power stations, batteries that I can actually bring solar into, store it in the battery, and then power the home through this generator inlet and into this 50 amp. Just don't forget, you're gonna need an interlock kit here to make sure your main's on or your generator inlet is on, and never both of them on at the same time, or you would backfeed the grid, which is something you do not want to do. Now, if you want to see a generator inlet for a 30 amp installation where I'm just installing it right by my main panel, you can check out this video right here. And if you want to know a little bit more about backing up your home with something like an EcoFlow Delta Pro 3, you can check out this video right here. I'll walk you through the complete application. So thanks for joining me on this video, and we'll catch you on one of those next ones. Take care.